Okay, so for 312C we have to go back into cell setup. We're setting up a slightly different arrangement. We won't have one block, we'll have 3 blocks. So we'll do everything that we did before, but we're going to add more blocks. Using the ER4U, put our robot in. No slide base again. Table, it's under General, Table. We want it to be 1000 by 1000. We want to make sure that the table is in the position of 0, 0. That way it's right underneath our slide or our robot. We're going to add 3 cubes this time, so that's under Materials, Cubes. Alright, so I'm going to add a cube. Now I'm going to add another cube. I'm going to make this one blue. Colors don't really matter, but you can have some variety. I'll make this one blue. White doesn't work. White and gray don't work very well because you can't see them too well. That's the downside of them. Maybe I'll make this one orange. Alright, cool. So I got 3 cubes. On the sheet it says that cube 1 is going to be in position X 300 0 and Y 0. So double click, position X 300, Y set to 0. Alright. That was my blue cube, now my orange cube. I'm going to position that one. Cube 2, 300, negative 100, so 300, negative 100. Okie dokie. And cube 3 position, 300, negative 200. Okie dokie. Alright, cool. So they're all lined up in front of, the blue one's directly in front of, the other ones are slightly off to that one side there. So I'm going to save this to my Z drive. I'm going to call this something else, maybe 312, or something that lets me know that's not my original work cell. I'm going to, for the sake of this one, I'm going to call it 312. 312, there we go. Alright, I'll save that. Now I've got my 3D workspace, I can close that and open up RoboCell. So, as before, make a new document. We're going to File, Import a 3D model. I'm going to import the 3D model I just made, arrange my windows for Simulate and Teach, go Pro, expand my window. Alright. So, on this sheet for 312, on the second or third page here, they give you a table of all the dimensions like they did in 312B. However, in 312C they left some things blank. Those blanks have to do with the roll. The roll is like turning your wrist, so we want to make sure that the cube is going to grab the cubes, or sorry, the claw is going to grab the cubes on the faces and not grab them at an angle so that the cube has to roll to fall into it. We want to make sure it grabs them exactly as they sit. Also what they do is they give you on the following page, on page 3, they give you the positions of all of the, they give you the locations of all of the positions. So position 1, it says X300, Y0. And then for position 11, that's up at Z of 157.5 millimeters. Z of position 1, oops, over here, is 17.5 millimeters. So all of your Cartesian coordinates, that's the X, Y, and Z, those are right there for you. However, the thing that you have to find, the thing that's missing, is the roll. So they show you here, and they set out the equation problem for you, that if it's 300 millimeters away, straight here, and then shifted over 100 millimeters, you have to solve for this angle, because what we need is we need to roll the wrist to go the opposite way that we're turning. This way the wrist itself is going to stay parallel to the faces. Alright, so I'll leave you to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and put all my positions in and let's see what it does. Alright, so just for the sake of argument, let's say I accidentally closed out my teach record window. So I went ahead and put all my programs in, but then I accidentally closed it. So if I go to Window, Simulate and Teach, that just brings us right back to our screen with our program window. our 3D model, and our teach position down here. Alright, so going through, this has a really nice diagram of what we need to do. So I need to go down to 11, get the thing, go up, go over to put it down, and then go back over, go down, go up, go over, put it back down. Now the reason I'm going straight up and straight down is if this was a true functional robot in a factory, if I go from 1 and try to cut over to position 13, I'm going to hit the block that's sitting in position 2. So the safest way for us to pick any of this up and put anything down is we'll go straight up and straight down to make sure we're not intersecting or hitting any other parts. So I'm going to follow this diagram as I go to program it. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go to 11, I'll go slowly down to 1, slowly back up to down to 1, up to 11, over to 33, down to 13, up to 13, over to 12, down to 2, up to 12, over to 33, down to 23, up to 33, and then back home. That's a mouthful, but it's going to go pretty quickly. Alright, so I haven't even moved my robot yet, so we're going to open the gripper. First thing we're going to do. Let's zoom in and look at our program. Kind of see it maybe better. Alright, so I'm opening the gripper, and I'm just going to go to, starting to go to position 11. I can do that at fast speed because I'm not near the parts. Then I will go to position 1. I'll leave that at the 50% speed because we're working around the parts. We don't want to hit anything or do anything that's going to cause a slippage. Alright, so I went to 11, then to 1. I'll close the gripper. I'll go back to 11. See how this gets monotonous. Over to 33. Down to 13. I'm holding the cube, so I need to release the cube, open the gripper. I'll go back up to 33. Then I'll go over to 12. Then I'll go down to 2. The gripper should be open at this point, so I'm above around 2, so I will now close the gripper, grab the thing. Oops. I'm going to right click and cut that to delete that. Oops, you select that, cut that to delete it. Alright, I went down to position 2, need to go back to position 12. Over to 33. Down to 23. Open to release the cube. I will go back to 33, get away from my part, and then I will go to position 99 fast speed because I am now completely out of the way. Okay, so put it in the program, double check that all my numbers were correct, and now we're going to run it. So start out by opening the gripper. We'll go grab the cube, go down fast to 11, go slowly down to 1, close the gripper, pick it up. We'll shoot over. Again, we're keeping this parallel, so placing this cube down, the same face on these cubes is always facing this edge. At no point does that change orientation. So now with these cubes we want them stacked very neatly so this way they're all going to line up. Now this part could be irregular, we could be fitting multiple weird shaped parts into each other, but this is going to keep us, even though our base is turning, all of these faces match up very straight. Alright, so at this point make sure your calculations are on page 4 for the roll. They do at the very end of the packet, before the conclusion questions, they do ask you to add remarks, so please do add remarks. You can add those even after you program. You can add those. If you highlight line 1, type RE. I can add a remark. So this is activity 3.1.2C. I say OK. Alright, just add that right to the top. Type RE again. My name, line. RE again, period. This is sim. RE again, and then the date, which is going to be different depending on what date you're doing this. So I'll put the date. There we go. So those remarks are going to be completely ignored by this program. If I start running it from here, it hops right down. Now the cubes aren't in the right spot, so now it's going to be kind of confused. But so yeah, make sure you get your conclusion questions done. Define pitch, roll, and yaw. You can look those up, and then make sure I've seen this in action, and I will sign it and hand in your conclusion questions with it, and you'll get credit for 312C. Thank you.